It was a good win for us last week. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It was a very hard-fought contest. I liked the way our offense played. I think we did a nice job of coming back from our performance against Central Arkansas the week before, where we weren't real happy about it. We were able to run the ball. Jacardia did a really nice job. We blocked the front. Jason did a great job of executing the passing game, distributing the ball, knowing what the coverages were, finding the best matchups, and we had some guys step up and make some really good plays at receiver, and Ty Scott and Booker had a big game for us. So I thought our execution was good. We didn't have a lot of plays. We only had 61 plays, I think 5 in the third quarter alone. So that's concerning. Defense wasn't our best game. We had some communication issues. We had some, assignment issues, things that normally haven't happened with us. So I'm sure our defense will be excited to get back on the practice field. They've got a lot of pride on that side of the ball. They've had a lot of success. So they'll be excited to get back on the practice field and get everything corrected. But we look forward to the game at Arkansas. It's a great football team that we're facing. They're big. They can really run the football. They break a lot of tackles. They're going to really challenge our tackling and getting guys to the football. And then defense, their front can really rush the passer, and they've got linebackers that are very athletic and fly to the ball and tackle, and a good secondary. So it's obviously a huge challenge for us. The thing we've got to do is do a great job in our preparation, and then go out and play with great effort and speed and play fast. You have to play fast against teams like this. So if we have to limit what we do, but we have to play fast and physical.
Just reassessing the offensive line from week 1 to week 2. I know you took some of the blame for week 1, but just where'd you see those leaps for that unit from 1 to 2?
Yeah, I thought we improved tremendously. We did a much better job running the ball, and we did a much better job of protecting the quarterback. When we can run the football and throw it, we're a much better offense. So I thought they improved a lot.
What kind of challenges does the quarterback for Arkansas present to you?
I mean, a lot. He's big. He can throw the ball. He can throw it deep. He's an accurate passer. He's a great runner. So our ability to get people to the ball when he runs it and tackle him. And then, his biggest uniqueness, I guess you would say, is that you can have free rushers and you can get guys right there to sack him, and he breaks the tackle. And he runs out of it and either throws the ball after he breaks the tackle or takes off and runs. So he's done a really nice job. They've done a great job with him the last 2 years.
Handful of running backs really good over there, just Rocket Sanders and a few guys behind them. Just when you look at the running backs, just what kind of separates them in Arkansas? Yeah,
well, Rocket's big, and physical. And last week's game, he broke a bunch of tackles. So you've got to be able to get a number of guys to the football and wrap up and, be gap sound. I think, and even sometimes teams are gap sound, and he breaks a tackle and makes a big play. So it's a good challenge for us.
When you look at this team, you guys were right there, almost had a chance to go for the win against Oklahoma State last year. It's a team that's about a half yard away from making the college football playoff. I don't know if that's a confidence thing that gives your team. I don't know if you see any comparisons to the level of play you'll have to do. But just kind of what can you take from maybe last year being that close with OK State going into this?
Yeah, I think the way we prepare. We really focused last year on getting ready to play mentally, physically, being fast and playing with great effort, and making sure that we were sound. So we didn't just give free plays, give free yardage or touchdowns up or free rushers up, that we were really sound in our protection scheme. So, and try to get into the fourth quarter with an opportunity to win the game. And that's what we worked hard on Oklahoma State doing. We got there, we weren't able to finish it. But this is a good football team we're playing now. They really run the ball, wear you down. It'll be unique. And it'll be a lot of fun. Our players will enjoy it. It'll be a great atmosphere, big, huge stadium, nice and loud. And, I think we've got to go enjoy the experience and play as hard as we possibly can and see what happens.
How much do you anticipate enjoying it, going back there, and just memories coming back to you this week, or just how's that?
Yeah, I think we'll see when I get there. Right now, what I'm going to do is just focus on the week and the preparation and what our players need to do. I'm sure there'll be some feelings and emotions when I step in the stadium, but it's really not about me. It's about our football team, and we've got guys on our team that have worked extremely hard, people that have been here since I first came, guys that we've added to it. But since June, we've been the same team, dedicated and working hard together. So it's really about our players.
Coach, the fourth down call last week, which you said Jason checked into on 4th and 1, do you give that freedom to all of your quarterbacks, or do they have to do something to earn it?
Yeah, he didn't really check to it. He just did a little hand signal out there and threw a fade for a touchdown. So, but it's a great job by him. He saw what they were in. He saw that we had a good matchup. We had a sprint out. I am glad that during the week in practice we changed our backside tackle in our sprint out because we had a couple different routes we were doing. So he didn't come running inside and give a short edge. So that's how we got the ball off. But excellent play, great job in scoring.
Coach, you look at some of what happened last weekend, some of the little schools, the FCS schools, taking it to the FBS schools, upsetting them, maybe even taking them real close. Just talk a little bit about David and Goliath and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the first thing you have to do is make sure you prepare properly. So how we go about our practice and how we work hard in practice. And then you got to go in there and play the game. Don't be intimidated. Make plays, play fast. Don't make a bunch of mistakes. Because it's a really good football team. You can't afford to make mistakes and just give them opportunities. So I think that's the number one thing. And I think maybe that's where playing Oklahoma State last year helps us, is that we don't go in and be intimidated. And when you're not ready to play or you're intimidated, things happen that don't normally happen. Like you fall down on a curl route. You ran that curl route 20 times, but all of a sudden now I just fall down on it. There's a lot more examples, but you don't play the way you're capable of playing. So we have to go in and play the way we're capable of playing and see what happens.
Coach, you mentioned needing to play fast against a team like Arkansas. Is that up-tempo, hurry up? Is that quick hitting, quick developing plays? What's the definition of playing fast, and what's the desired benefit there?
Yeah, it's really getting to your coming off the ball and getting your technique and playing physical and playing with great effort till the whistle. I thought that's what, when you put the Cincinnati game on, Cincinnati did a real nice job of playing fast and playing at the same speed that Arkansas plays at, and their offensive line and their defensive line. So that's really what I'm talking about, is that we've got to go and not hesitate. Come off the ball, work our technique. The other thing you got to do is trust your technique. Sometimes when you get in games like this, guys that don't have experience, and that's the good thing, we have experienced players, but sometimes you get in guys, they forget what they did technically all week long, or to that point. So we've got to just trust our technique and trust we're good football players and go play as hard as we can.
Hey, Bobby, Sam Pittman just said at his presser a few minutes ago that in recruiting they just got in the top 10, and he's using that kind of stuff in recruiting. It's the first time since you were there, and that he's recruiting off those achievements. Your thoughts about maybe their ascension back to maybe close to the heights you had Arkansas at?
Yeah, Sam's done a great job. When you watch him play, and first and foremost, you see that they have deep beliefs in what they're doing. What they're doing offensively, what they're doing defensively. The coaches really believe in it, and the players go out and execute it. And what he's done with that program, he's done a great job.
Have you reflected any on what it took for you to build Arkansas to the top 10 school?
Not really. I've been my time at Arkansas was quite a while ago, and certainly after I left there, I did a lot. But I really haven't thought about it a lot.
Penalties for you guys, the last couple of games, how much of an emphasis has that been for some of the 15-yarders that have kind of hurt you guys here and there, but hasn't really led to a loss yet, but kind of did Youngstown State a year ago and just some other.
Yeah, that's concerning on some of the penalties we've had. Certainly a couple in the first game. that we had, late hits and unforced penalties. The other night, we went for the block. I saw that exact same look on TV 3 or 4 times, and it was running into the kicker. So it's 4th and 26. I figure if we rough them, we're gonna run into the kicker. It's a 5-yard penalty. Well, they gave us the 15 version. They even explained it last night on whatever game I was watching, that said, if you don't hit his plant leg, it's running into the kicker every single time. Except if you're playing here at Missouri State. That was a 15-yarder, so that was on me. That was not on the players. That's on me. That was the call I decided to make. I'm figuring if we run into the kicker, it's a 5-yard penalty, they punt it again. So it just ended up being a 15-yarder. Ty Scott's penalty is a really bad call. He was pointing to our fans. He was excited that we had students in the fans, and he's giving our fans this. Their bench is down there 30 other yards. So that's a really bad call. Now, Taj coming off the sideline, we got to get that corrected. That cannot happen at all. That's something that's just a free first down for them.
Coach, can you just talk a little bit about going back to Arkansas, but then taking this team that you've rebuilt, Missouri State, and how proud you are of what you're bringing to Reynolds State?
Yeah, I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of our assistant coaches and the players that we have, because when you look at our last 2 games, they're really difficult games for us. We're playing good teams that are well coached, that have good players, and we had to go battle to win the game. And we got better. We've improved in the 2 games. We've improved in last week's game from first quarter to the fourth quarter. We're a better football team. So that's what you try to do is get better and improve and compete. And I think we have a team that really likes to compete. They like each other. They're not afraid to fail, so they go out and hand signal for a fade on 4th and 1. That's awesome. That's when someone has that type of confidence and that type of belief. That's what you want. That's what you're trying to develop young men to do, is to, not be afraid to fail. Go make the play to win. And that's what, him and Ty did. They went and made the play to win the game. And, that's kind of what you try to do as a coach. You try to, curve the freedom that you give them or manage it or, that way. But you got to teach them how to have confidence and teach them how to excel. And, I felt like that's what we did when we were at Arkansas, and that's kind of what we're doing here.
How much better was the UT Martin team than what you played in November? It seemed like a faster, better tackling team, didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, they're a good team. They got, I don't know how many guys they got back that are 6th or 7th year seniors, but they got a lot of them. In the COVID era, you're not really sure. I looked at their roster like after the game last year. I thought, well, when we play these guys, he won't be there, he won't be there, he won't be there, he won't be there. And it was only he that wasn't there. Everybody else was there, so you never know what you're going to face. But they're really well coached, and they play fast. And, I thought their quarterback did a nice job. He got the ball out. He didn't take sacks. Even when guys weren't open and we had pressure on him, we missed a couple, but he still threw the ball away and saved him yards and made it a really good football game.
How are you doing on injuries this week? Jordan Jones was a surprise, and it seemed like Stetson Moore is getting closer.
Yeah, Jordan should be back. He's going through the protocol, concussion protocol. He should be back going today and tomorrow full speed. It's one of those freak things where we threw a back shoulder fade. He stopped, caught the ball, fell back, and hit his head on the turf. So it was, one of those things in practice. We're glad he's back. He's got some speed. He's excited to play. He's an Arkansas kid, so it'll be good for him.
Stetson seems closer to getting back, just kind of watching him play around.
Yeah, he should be. I think, I don't know if he'll make it for this week's game, but hopefully for sure for the next game.
And just when you go through, in the grand scheme of championship chasing this year, the FBS game doesn't matter as much as maybe the Week 4 game against South Dakota State. Just the importance of getting through healthy at the same time as trying to put your best show out there. Just kind of how do you balance a lot of that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think you first approach it like Herb Edwards, got to win because that's the game we play, right? Or something like that. What was his famous quote?
Play to win.
Play to win.
Play to win the game, baby. Play to win the game. That's what we're going to go do. Play to win the game. And, I think our players will be fired up about it. And I know that we'll come out and work hard in practice and get better this week in practice for sure. And then, go play a great football team.
Coach, this year, going into this, in SEC Stadium and going in to play Arkansas, one of the best teams in the FBS, how much do you lean on the leaders on your team for some players that maybe didn't play against OK State last year or maybe haven't been in this environment and that intimidation factor? How much do you lean on the Jason Shelleys and the leaders on this team?
A lot. I think one of the things that was very impressive to me this past week was how much they took over the leadership. How they went about the preparation, how they addressed how to act in the locker room, how to prepare before the game. I didn't have to do a lot. Coaches didn't have to do a lot. The players took care of it themselves. That says a lot. That means that we have really special leadership on our team. And, throughout my career, whenever you've had a special team, it's because the leadership came from within the team, not from the coaches. And I feel like that's where we're at right now.
What about the Arkansas secondary? Cincinnati had missed a couple of deep shots. They're down their best safety. What do you make of their play?
Yeah, I think they got really good corners and really good experience. Their safeties are good players. They put a lot of pressure on them because they play a lot of man coverage on the back end. But they get pressure on the quarterback in doing that too. So sometimes it's not just the guy's open at this particular time. It's how much time does the quarterback have to be able to make that throw and that play. So I think they're really good players.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, Coach Petrino, thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you.
today.
Have a good one.